So I was throwing myself into my music at the time. I played guitar, I wrote some pretty good tunes, put together a band. We were called The Weave. We were pretty big fish in the small pond of the North Harts music scene. So if you'd have been around at the time, you would have heard me saying to people endlessly, if we could just get a manager, we could really go somewhere. And people used to say to me, James, why don't you manage the band yourself? Now, I had a stock reply when people said that to me, and it was this: I just don't have a head for business. Okay, this is James Tripp. This is James Tripp Chaos Wave. This video is about how I rebuilt my business head. Now, I'm making this video for you if you are into pragmatic psychology, hypnosis, NLP, and beyond, and you maybe do this for a living. You're a coach, you're a trainer, you're a change worker, you are an independent practitioner, and you are using your expertise and your understanding to create income for yourself and for the people who are important to you. I'm also aware there's a whole bunch of other people that might just be into this stuff at the level of a rational passion, which is where I started out, a rational passion. How can we repattern our engagement with the world? This was my fascination. But maybe, like me, you want to go professional with this. This is where I was years ago. It's like, I love this stuff. Why can't this be my life? Why can't I leverage this to create the income that I want for me and my family? This would be awesome. So that's what I ended up doing. And I want to share something really key with you. In February next year, 2012, it will be 12 years since I walked out of employment as a wage slave, working for somebody else, and stepped into being what I call an independent wealth creator. I'm really grateful, by the way, because I'm still alive, right? I'm still alive and thriving, in fact. So I'm really grateful for what the universe has sent my way and all of that stuff, attitude of gratitude. I'm all for that, but I'm also massively aware of how much I had to do to transform myself to become the person who could create that, and who does create that and continues to do so. I had to do a lot of work. In fact, if I go right back in time to the late 80s, early 90s, you would find me, a young James, at school in Hertfordshire, just north of London. I wasn't really applying myself at school, and that meant that I left school with no qualifications. There was a reason I wasn't applying myself. I knew in my head, I knew in my heart, there was only one future for me, and I was going to be a rock star. I was going to be a rock star. So I didn't really show up for my GCSE exams, maybe showed up for a couple of exams, showed up for my maths GCSE. I remember I didn't even have a pencil or a pen or a protractor or a compass or a calculator or any of the things I needed. Just showed up like, yeah, whatever. I didn't need the stuff. I knew what I was going to be. I was going to be a rock star. So I was throwing myself into my music at the time. I played guitar, I wrote some pretty good tunes, put together a band. We were called The Weave. Now, The Weave, we were a three-piece. We were pretty big fish in the small pond of the North Harts rock scene, independent music scene, in the early 90s, 91, 92. We were pretty big fish. And I became convinced, absolutely, that if we could just get the right kind of backing, the right kind of brain behind us, we could go a long way. And so if you'd have been around at the time, you would have heard me saying to people endlessly, if only we could get a manager, if only we could get a manager, if we could just get a manager, we could really go somewhere. And people used to say to me, James, why don't you manage the band yourself? Now, I had a stock reply when people said that to me, and it was this: I just don't have a head for business. And when I said that, I really believed that it was true. I didn't think I was telling myself a story. I didn't think that that was an idea. I thought that was a truth, a fundamental truth about who I was, really at the core, who I was. And this truth was not merely that I don't have a head for business right now. It's like, I really don't have a head for business and never will. So I've got to find somebody else to sort of rescue me or something. So how does that add up? How does that tally? There I am in the early 90s. I don't have a head for business, can't even manage my own band, and here I am about to hit 12 years as an independent wealth creator. Clearly, I got some kind of head for business, and it had to come from somewhere. And where it came from was essentially, if I track back, it came from a chance encounter with a martial arts teacher in the kind of mid-late 90s, who helped me understand something hugely important. He helped me to understand that I was not who I thought that I was, that all the limitations that I could see in myself, they weren't really that big a deal and they weren't that important. What was really true about me is that I was a living human being who could become so much more than I realized. That it wasn't really about who I was, that it was about who I was becoming and how I was participating in my own recreation. So this particular individual, I have to thank them greatly because they truly changed the course of my life. And they enabled me to go from that position of I don't have a head for business, and it kind of was true on a superficial level, to building one, to building a head for business. Now, I'm aware that everybody watching this is their own person. They have their own values, they have their own proclivities, they have their own way of looking at the world. And what's right for me isn't necessarily right for you. But if you are somebody who wants to create an income flow from your abilities, your expertise, and your understandings, you want to do what you do professionally, whether you're doing this already or it's something that you're just choosing to step into now, I would like to invite you to a webinar where I'm going to share with you 7 points about how I rebuilt my head for business. I'll put a link around here somewhere where you can get onto that webinar. It's a free webinar, and I will be mentioning another program that I have in it during the webinar. But aside from that, I want to create value for you if you're somebody who's looking to up your game as an independent wealth creator in the field of hypnosis, NLP, brain wrangling, coaching, this kind of thing. Okay, so if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like the video, and of course subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell for more interesting perspectives, rare knowledge on using your mind to shape your life. There's a comment section below as well. You can ask me any questions you like relevant to this video. If you use the comment section, the conversation gets to continue, and that is a wonderful thing. Until it does, until the webinar, if I don't see you before then, I'm going to suggest you keep on using your mind to shape your life.